Okay, let's just dive right in. If you manage facilities, handle procurement, or oversee a commercial real estate portfolio, you already know that keeping those spaces modern and purpose-built, it's a constant, everyday challenge. So in today's explainer, we're going to unpack a massive operational shift happening right now in commercial space design. We're talking about the move toward direct-to-wall printing and exactly how top-tier organizations are leveraging this tech to slash costs, save a ton of time, and totally eliminate waste.
Now, what's really fascinating here, and you can see it in this quote, is that wall graphics, well, they just aren't some nice-to-have art project anymore, right? They are literally mission-critical operational assets. Choosing the right commercial wall printing partner directly impacts your schedules, your budgets, and crucially, your brand consistency across multiple locations. It's not just about decor anymore. It's really about how your building actually functions and communicates with people day in and day out.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the shift in the commercial graphics market, explain the actual mechanics of direct-to-wall tech, look at some real-world applications, calculate the true total cost of ownership, and finally, wrap up with how to seamlessly scale and evaluate your vendors. All right, let's jump straight into part one, the commercial graphics shift. Historically, if you wanted a large graphic up on a wall, you basically relied on vinyl wraps or applied panels. But you know the drill, those carry some pretty heavy inherent risks. You've got visible seams that collect dust or start peeling, adhesives that completely fail in humid environments, and let's not even talk about the surface damage when you try to remove them. Or, hand painting, which requires these massive lengthy install windows that just totally disrupt your operations. Well, modern wall printing literally engineers that risk right out of the process. The imagery is printed directly onto the wall surface itself. No seams, zero peeling, and no panel edges to worry about. It feels completely built in, it's incredibly fast, and it gives you maximum flexibility across a whole bunch of different surfaces. Okay, moving on to part two, direct-to-wall technology explained. This is where things get really cool, because we're talking about a fundamental change in how this is applied. Direct-to-wall printing technology uses these highly mobile on-site printers equipped with UV LED curing. They literally deliver high-resolution imagery straight onto drywall, CMU, concrete, or even brick. The machine physically drives right up to the substrate. There's absolutely no adhesive to fail and no heavy panels to mount. And the best part? The ink cures instantly under that UV LED light, meaning your space is fully ready to use the exact second the printer rolls away. How incredible is that?
So because it's a true direct application, you're getting a continuous, totally seam-free image at genuine architectural scale. By completely ditching adhesives, you're removing the entire risk of bubbling, peeling, or those annoying humidity-induced failures. Plus, those UV LED cured inks, they create a ridiculously robust surface that easily handles standard everyday facility cleaning regimens. And this is absolutely crucial for long-term lifecycle management. These finishes are reversible by design. When it's finally time for a change, they are paint-over ready. You just slap some paint on the wall, entirely bypassing the messy, expensive tear-out and disposal costs you'd get stuck with using old vinyl.
Now, let's take a look at part three, real-world industry applications. It's really amazing to see how top-tier providers are actively adapting this tech to meet some very strict environmental needs. Take hospitals, for example. It's being used for critical wayfinding and care team identifiers. Why? Because these cured inks can withstand routine, hospital-grade disinfectants without a single edge lifting up or any moisture issues. No way vinyl survives that. Then, over in the education sector, K-12, higher ed, these installations can actually happen during a single shift or a quick break. It beautifully unifies campus athletics and academics directly on standard brick or CMU block with zero disruption to learning. And in corporate workspaces, it delivers this gorgeous, seam-free photorealism that scales completely naturally to existing architectural features, creating these stunning brand walls and collaboration zones. And for any sustainability-conscious operators out there, which, let's face it, should be all of us, the calculus here changes entirely. Look, direct-to-wall printing means absolutely no PVC film, no paper backers, and no massive sheets of adhesive just rotting away in a landfill. Since production happens right there on site, you are drastically lowering freight emissions and packaging waste. Furthermore, these modern UV LED inks are low VOC and cure instantly, which is a massive win for protecting indoor air quality in occupied buildings. And again, when you do eventually refresh that space, you just paint right over it. You are completely eliminating any of that bulky panel disposal. All right, shifting gears to part four, calculating total life cycle costs. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but what is the actual true total cost of ownership here?
Because honestly, looking at a simple square foot price, that completely misses the bigger financial picture. If you're only focused on day one costs, you are definitely going to miss those critical operational expenses that will absolutely eat into your budget down the line. We really need to evaluate the whole life cycle. Just think about all the hidden costs tied up in vinyl. Sure, you might pay a standard installed rate up front, but then what? You're paying for multi-night facility closures, super expensive lift rentals, and those unavoidable future removal and disposal fees when the material inevitably degrades every 3 to 5 years. It really adds up. Direct-to-wall printing completely bypasses this entire headache. You're getting a highly competitive installed rate right out of the gate, but with zero ancillary shipping or panel costs. The turnaround is usually same day or just a single night, which keeps disruption to an absolute bare minimum. And your future costs? Heavily mitigated thanks to those simple planned paint-over-refresh cycles we talked about. To really put this operational efficiency into perspective, we're talking under 5 hours. Yep, top-tier industry players, experts like East Coast Mural pros, they routinely complete massive architectural-scale walls in less than 5 hours. By engineering all the risk out of the process early on, doing the discovery, color proofing, and staging ahead of time, their lean teams can just come in, print, cure, and leave your space fully operational in less than half a day. There's no waiting around for days for off-gassing, and definitely no complex multi-day scaffolding setups driving everyone crazy. Finally, let's wrap things up with part 5, scaling and vendor evaluation. When you're executing these big multi-site rollouts, your provider absolutely has to offer a predictable, low-disruption path. It generally breaks down into a 3-step seamless journey. Step 1 is strict pre-install coordination. They need to be doing site surveys, confirming substrates, and locking in your exact brand colors with proper proofing. Step 2 is the day of operations. This means solid site protection, low noise on-wall printing, and of course that immediate UV LED carrying. And finally, step 3 is rapid turnover and care. The surface should be returned to service in a matter of hours, complete with as-builts and fully documented paint-over readiness to make your future planning a total breeze. So if you want to ensure precise color governance and serious durability across your regional or national portfolio, you need to demand a specific standard from your partners. Think of this as your ultimate buyer's checklist. First, verify they're using true direct-to-wall technology with UV LED curing. Don't settle for less. Second, they absolutely must use ICC color management workflows, so your corporate blue in New York perfectly matches your corporate blue out in Los Angeles. Third, demand documented cleanability and abrasion resistance. Fourth, ensure safety compliance. They've got to use low VOC inks and respect things like hospital ICAR protocols where necessary. And lastly, for those large rollouts, they must offer centralized asset management, so you have one single source of truth for all your artwork. I'm going to leave you with one final kind of provocative thought to chew on as you start planning your next major commercial space optimization or procurement cycle. Look at your current commercial footprint. Are your existing graphics an expensive, constantly depreciating liability, or are you ready to transition them into a sustainable, highly durable operational asset? By applying the criteria we just walked through, you can literally eliminate waste, drastically reduce your facility downtime, and guarantee that your brand environment performs at the absolute highest level.